What is going on, guys? I'm Consumer Tech Review, and today I'm going to be doing a review of the Womier K87, a crazy RGB mechanical keyboard. I'm going to do the unboxing for you, and then I'm going to give you the pros and the cons and my own real life experience that I've had while using this keyboard. And if at any point during the video you guys want to check out this exact same keyboard, I'll have a banggood.com link below if you want to pick it up there, or I'll have an Amazon link below for the US, UK, and Canada below as well. But here's the timestamp if you want to skip the unboxing, but if you don't, here it is. All right, guys, you asked for it and you're getting it. The Womier K87. We got red switches on this baby. I think they're gateron red switches, but I'm pretty sure that they are. Let's get this thing open. Pretty generic boxing, but they do a good job. And there we go. Type C. This should be very similar to the K66, except it's going to be a 10 key less. Now that looks sweet. I honestly loved the K66 way more than I thought I was going to. So I'm excited to be using the TKL of that because I love TKLs much more than I do 60% or near 60% keyboards. Now let's see how these switches feel. Oh, they feel nice and smooth. I have a feeling these are gaterons. Let's see if we can pull a switch off. And yes, these are gaterons. Now, an interesting thing, on the K66, these were actually the other way, and the RGB was down here. On this keyboard, they're above here, which should actually illuminate the letters better than on the K66. So that should definitely be an interesting thing. Let's get this thing plugged in. You get a little brush with it. Obviously it's hot swappable and you get a switch puller. Let's get this thing plugged in. And I have a feeling we're gonna have the same problem that we had with the last one. And there she is in all of her glory. Let's turn the light off. Wow, what a keyboard. Now, honestly, from first glance, I'm looking back at the K66 because it's still on my desk because I liked it so much. I like the RGB better on this one. It is actually very different. This one is actually way cleaner. Not quite as bright, but it's cleaner. You can see on the edges, you still get that. However, because these are top mounted RGBs, you're not seeing the other ring right here. So it actually gives a much cleaner design. And this design is actually better than the K66, which just is a little bit different, but makes a huge difference overall. But guys, that was the unboxing of the K87, the Womier K87. I am super excited to be using this one. I think they really perfected it with the 87 over the 66. But I'll be coming back and giving you my full review of the Womier K87 in 3, 2, take it away, Future Consumer Tech Review. All right, guys, and we are back. Let's get straight into the review of the Womier K87. Jumping into the first pro, you guys know what it is. That is the crazy, insane RGB on this keyboard. Now, I recently did a review of the K66, the little brother of this keyboard, the 60% version or almost 60% version of this, while this is a TKL. Now, overall, I prefer a TKL over a 60% keyboard, so I already am a little bit biased towards this one. However, there are a bunch of key differences between the K66 and the K87 that are actually quite different that you wouldn't think are. However, we're gonna go over those after I list all of the pros and cons. Now, the first pro is the RGB. There is a ton of different modes and color selections, and you can do static colors of both the outside and the inside. So how the RGB works is the inside, basically where the keys are, the backlit of the keys, which actually comes through on the deck itself. That is one color that you can affect effects for and static colors and whatever. However, the outside is a completely separate zone. So you can set a bunch of different RGB effects around that. And that doesn't mean that it's just one color. That can be like the ring going around it. It can be a whole lot of different stuff. It can be static colors, breathing, anything you want. But you can control both of them without just controlling both of them at the same time, but separately, which is really, really good. Moving on to the next pro, that is gonna be the switches. Now, this thing is hot swappable with 5 and 3 pin switches. However, this thing comes with gateron mechanical switches, which you guys know gateron mechanical switches are pretty dang nice. But you can't switch those if you want to, which is exactly who this keyboard is made for. It's made for enthusiasts or people that are going to customize their keyboards. However, that being said, and that's the next pro, this keyboard is a plug and play keyboard. So you can take it out, plug it in with a USB-C, plug it in your PC, you're good to go. And speaking of that, another pro is the USB-C. So this is a USB-C keyboard, so you completely detachable cable, obviously. However, where this one excels over the K66, its little brother, is that the USB-C is all the way out at the edge of the keyboard, while in the K66 it was pushed back a little bit into the body, so it made a lot of different USB-C cables not be able to get in there if they're a little bit thicker. So I actually had to file it down on the K66, but if that's something that you guys don't want to do, like at all, if you just don't want to do that, take the risk. This one you won't have to. You can plug it right in any type of cable, any type of USB-C cable, which I did use the custom cables from Asceni. This is not sponsored. I just truly do love their cables. I think they're really awesome. And I will have both the Asceni cables and the K87 linked below. I'm not even sponsored. They just make really awesome products. Now moving on to the next Pro, you would think because this is an enthusiast grade keyboard, because this is something that is, you know, pretty crazy, they're probably going to cheap out on some parts of it to save money, and it's an enthusiast keyboard, so they're not going to think that a lot of the parts of this are actually going to be kept. However, that was not true with the keycaps. These are not ABS plastic. These are actually double shot PBT keycaps, which is fantastic to see. Those will last longer without, and they won't get that shiny look, which nobody really likes that. So you are getting higher quality keycaps on this, which is fantastic, because if you do want to customize this keyboard in your own way and just put new keycaps like the HyperX pudding keycaps, highly recommended. You can definitely do that, but you can actually use these white keycaps for another keycap customization of one of your other keyboards. Now the next Pro obviously is fully anti-ghosting. I probably don't even need to mention it this time. However, I will say it, it's fully anti-ghosting. However, let's talk about the keyboard itself. Now there is 3 layers of this clear plastic, basically. It's essentially clear plastic. Now this isn't quite translucent and has an opacity to it. However, now is where we're going to get to the difference between the K87 and the smaller brother, the K66. There are some major differences. Now, that major difference, the huge difference, because the biggest feature of these keyboards is the RGB, and the biggest difference is that in the K66, the backlight for the keycaps, the RGBs for the keycaps are bottom mounted, and the keycaps for these, the RGBs, are top mounted. That makes a massive difference. First, on this keyboard, the actual backlight of the RGB on the top of the keycaps is going to be brighter just because that's where the letters are. They're higher up on the keys. That being said, if you put something like the HyperX pudding keycaps on it, they're going to be brighter on the K66 because the light is actually towards you more and it's coming from the bottom side. Now, this doesn't just affect the keycaps because the entire thing is translucent. So it definitely affects the look of the K66 versus the K87. The K87 is still loud and in your face, although it's more subdued and it has a more clean look on top of it, while the K66 is just in your face, bright lights everywhere. So if you guys are more of a clean setup but still want that crazy look, I would go with the K87. If you want a crazy, just totally in your face, I would go with the K66. And if you're gonna put pudding keycaps on it, I might go with the K66. However, on both of these, it's gonna look good. All right, but let's talk about the cons. For what this keyboard is, it's in a really good price range because it's got gaterons with it. It's crazy RGBs all around. It's super customizable. It's fully hot swappable. You get USB-C connectivity, a lot of stuff. We're gonna talk about 2 cons, and I only got 2 of them. One, the risers on the back are non-existent. There is no height adjustability on the back. However, I'm sure there's definitely ways to DIY that, or I know there are definitely ways to DIY that, but definitely a con. Second con, which is not a big one, is the USB-C cable that it comes with is just like not good. It's not bad, it's just a white cable USB-C. It's not a big deal. However, it's not a big deal because most of you guys are gonna be getting custom cables like me. But guys, honestly, this thing looks so cool on a desk, and especially with the lights. I mean, there's a window there and there's a light here, but even with all that light, it is still quite bright. You are not gonna have a problem with it not being bright. But if you guys do want to go pick up this keyboard, I highly recommend it. It is a fantastic keyboard. Again, there's Amazon links below as well as a banggood.com link below if you want to get it from that website. And if you want to check out Asceni's cables, they're also linked below. But if you guys enjoy this video and it helped you out, help me out and throw a like below. And if you enjoy gaming tech reviews and tech reviews in general, please consider subscribing. We are literally about to hit 22,000 subscribers. And I mean just about. We are literally 5 subscribers away from hitting 22,000 subs. Guys, a lot of people, actually not a lot, a few people said, I don't think we're gonna make it to 25,000 before the end of the year. Please, let's prove them wrong. We only have 3,005 subscribers as of me filming this
to go. I think we can do it by the end of the year. We only got like 10 days left, but I think we're gonna do it. Get your friends to subscribe, get your mom to subscribe, entire family to subscribe so we can hit 25,000 subs before the end of this year. This channel is going absolutely crazy. I have no doubt that we could reach 250,000 subs in 2021 or more than that. But guys, again, I am moving very, very soon. I think there's 8 days left until I move into my new apartment. So a whole new studio. We're not just gonna have one studio, we'll have multiple different shooting locations. It's gonna be a very, very big change for the channel and it's gonna be fantastic. But again, guys, thank you for all your support. It's been awesome. This was Consumer Tech Review and I'll see you guys later.